Beg your pardon? Meredith, who is this coarse person with the foreign accent?
Hey, what an exciting thing this is for our little bonus episodes. We've only ever had Sylvia, but Benjamin sent us such an awesome email that now we get to, for the 1 year anniversary actually of the Talking Ass, we get a very special bonus episode. Benjamin and Covey from the fantastic podcast, wait, I'll get the full name right. It's Science Actually Presents, The Nerd and the Scientist.
Damn, you got it.
Thank you for getting it correct. If you had been off by a syllable, I would have just hung up.
Hey, firstly, before we get into the weird island stuff that you want to tell us, Benjamin, any feelings about the Super Bowl? And while I'm saying this, I know, Covey, that you've been roped in. You're a real serious scientist. You've been roped in, forced to talk about islands and Super Bowls and whatnot. So we sympathize, that's all.
I'm assuming that, like, you know, we have novae and supernovae and kilonovae. I'm assuming it's the same sort of thing. You have bowls, you have super bowls, you have hyper bowls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now you've offended all of America, by the way. All of America.
Good start.
Well, I'm an American that doesn't like football. I think I'm the master offender here.
It might be the birthday of this show now, but it is always America's birthday, and you should know that, Code.
Yeah.
Every day is football's birthday, okay? Benjamin, give us your analysis. You sent me something fun about kickers.
I don't care about football at all, but I've never missed a Super Bowl in my life, and it's a great. It's if all the national holidays, that should be one of the top three. I think the Super Bowl's it's great. Everyone gets together, watch the game or not, eat a little bit, have fun. It's great. And I'm watching the Super Bowl, and it's a kind of a dull game as far as the game goes. And but I'm not, the kicker for the Seahawks scored a field goal, 3 points. He scored a field goal for 3 points. And after like 2/3 of the game going by, not a single touchdown, the Seahawks had a hell of a lead because this one man, I mean, the whole team works together, obviously, to push him close enough, but he's the guy doing all the heavy lifting, as it were. And I'm remarking to my brother-in-law who I'm next to, and I'm thinking, this guy's going to get the MVP. He's winning the game. And he didn't win the MVP, and it went to some other guy from some other position that I don't understand what they do. Don't explain the positions to me. I don't care.
I won't explain anything to you. I appreciate your argument, and I have had a long shot bet every year that a kicker will win the MVP award in the Super Bowl, except this year, and I forgot. So I'm really happy it didn't happen. But here's the argument for why that other guy got it. Because what he did was he ran for 120, whatever it was, yards against the defense who hadn't allowed any other running back in the league the whole season to do more than 50, 60 yards. They had a great run defense. So that's probably why he got it, because what he did was exceptional, whereas he had 4 field goals in the end. 4 field goals, that happens in every NFL game and its mother. Like, it happens all the time. So that's why probably got it, the running back.
Well, I'm going to quibble, because according to the math...
Oh, shit. He's bringing the meth out.
Not science.
It's not science. It's kind of science-y. I was counting all the field goals, and I learned, just by doing simple addition, that the kicker, Jason Myers, for the Seahawks, scored more points than the Patriots did. The entire Patriots team, the best it could do was less than what Jason Myers did just himself in field goal points. And not only that, he scored more than half the points for the entire team. And I did all the numbers. And had he failed, the Seahawks would have lost. So he did enough work that he beat the other team by himself. And so I went back and I got all the football scores from every single Super Bowl. And I got every single field goal success that was kicked in the past 60 years of Super Bowls. And the only person who managed to do the same feat that just happened was Jim Turner. for the New York Jets in Super Bowl III, when he also scored more points in the opposition than the Colts. He scored more points than the Colts. He scored more than half the points for the team. And had he failed, his team would have lost. It was all on the kicker. I've never really appreciated just how much the kicker contributes to the team, you know. Usually the team gets a touchdown at 6 points, and the kicker gets one more fancy little itty-bitty point. That's nice. But it turns out the accumulation over time, that's a serious, serious position. And I really am upset that he got overlooked. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Also, black holes are science. That's for coffee.
I'm very proud of you to bring real figures into this, but from a sports perspective, you also, and this is a math thing too, as you know, the closer you get in the field goals, the more, like the less their spray is. What is it called? How far to the sides they spray their kicks. None of those kicks was a wow moment, because this year the NFL field goal record was again broken, and I think it was 68 yards or something. Now you're talking about a game-changing kick by the kicker, where the team only had to get about halfway down the field and they can already give the ball to their kicker and get 3 guaranteed points. Now, Myers, what did he kick, like 40 yards, 42 yards? Was that the longest in that game? I don't remember.
I didn't jot down the distances. I just noticed that there's a counting that was happening that should have been acknowledged. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Fantastic veteran kicker, but there was no wow moment. I'm not saying he wasn't capable of hitting a 67-yarder if he needed to. He was having a great game, but they were winning from the get-go. This was a blowout, so they didn't need that dramatic game-winning 65-yard field goal in the last second from their kicker. That's like an MVP type play, you know, where the kicker gets remembered.
Whereas nobody remembers this Jim Turner fellow, right?
What?
Jim? Yeah, you said it. You said it 30 seconds ago, and you don't even remember him.
Jim Turner
from Super Bowl III, which fun fact was about 6 months before man ever landed on the moon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Freaking nerd. Why is this science nerd got to interrupt us two sports guys talking?
I'll just say there. I'll keep drinking my
Talking
coffee. I'm sorry.
sports. Yeah, goals and pucks, man.
Can I go?
And
I'll leave.
baskets and stuff, and hoops.
Yes. We will talk science and moon landing in a moment on the excellent podcast, The Nerd and the Scientist, so find us there. But for this one, the main reason we're here, we may disagree about kickers and whatnot, even though I've been a defender of kickers on the show, and I love the kicking game. But islands is what we really perv about on this program. So, Benjamin.
Oh, yeah.
Where in the world are we going, like roughly on a map?
Good Lord. There's a small strait called the Kennedy Channel that's between Greenland and Canada, way up north in the Arctic. And in where's my notes? 73, Denmark, acting on behalf of Greenland and Canada, they decided to establish where the maritime borders would be between their countries. And so they just very politely agreed that draw a line that's perfectly down the midway of this Kennedy Strait, and follows all the twists and turns that are between these two crazy island areas. And that'll be the border between the two countries. And that was it. Nobody cared, and they said, fine. There is a small little island in that strait. There's a narrow part of the strait that's 36 kilometers wide, and 18 kilometers in from either side, there's a small little rock sitting on the border. It's called Hans Island. I thought it was named after Hans Gruber from the Nakatomi Towers, but no, it's Hans Hendrik, an Inuit explorer. So kind of boring, but probably nice for the Inuits, I guess. Anyway, so it's a small little island. It's about 1.3 square kilometers. Nothing grows there, nothing lives there. It's just a rock. And then in 1984, some Canadian military vessel, just tooling around. They came across the little island. What the heck? They planted the Canadian flag. They left a bottle of Canadian whiskey and a little sign that said, "Welcome to Canada." They did it as a goof, and it took off from there. Same year, Tom Hoyam, he's the Danish minister for Greenland. He got on a helicopter, flew to the island, landed there, took down the Canadian flag, respectfully, folded it, put it away, left it there, took the whiskey, left some schnapps, and took away the sign that said, "Welcome to Canada." I don't know where it went. And he left a sign that said, "Welcome to Denmark." And so it began the Whiskey War, where every single time a Canadian vessel or a Danish vessel were just happening to be patrolling the area, they knew, let's stop at this island and just check on the status. And sure enough, that's how they would know if the other country had been there, the flag had been changed, and the alcohol had been swapped. And sometimes they'd leave other little gifts, snacks or whatever. But it became this big, not big, but a newsworthy type of skirmish, I guess you could say, between the two friendliest countries ever. In which they just left each other alcohol on this small little rinky-dink, no-use island.
So many questions. Firstly, it's a casus belli, a cause for war in itself, that the Canadians got to name the actual war now. Forget the island. Why is it called Whiskey War when schnapps was playing an equally important part in this story?
Maybe because the whiskey was there first?
Oh, that's what they claim.
Whiskey War, they both start with a W. Schnapps War kind of sounds...
You're starting to sound like Billie Eilish there. That's a slippery slope, my friend. Who was where first, right?
I'm not going to get involved in that conversation.
But it sounds like a brutal ongoing conflict.
The conflict is over now, but it went on for a long time. In the 90s, various officials from either country would come and visit, and they try to make it, as official as possible, as high up a person in the government that they're willing to, to loan out for a day or two to go to this useless island just to make the statement that this is our island. Mm-hmm. Both countries kind of wanted it because every country wants to be the winner, but nobody really needed it. So it wasn't really worth much more effort other than getting some photographers. Soldiers from both sides of the conflict, in quotes, loved going there because you get off the boat for a bit, stretch your legs, run around. And then in the 2000s, the people leading at the front of the war were scientists, actually. It was kind of a waste to send soldiers there for literally nothing. So they started sending geologists and meteorologists just to study the rock and to study the weather. And, I don't know, just swapping drinks. Every time people went, they would continue this swapping of beverages and changing the flag. And then in 2005, both sides call this the hot year of the war. 2005. It's because this is when they started actually building things on the island. But by building things, I mean they just stacked huge stones that kind of look like a man, or they stacked a big, I can make my flagpole taller than yours, and leaving more than just a bottle, leaving a few bottles, and notes to each other, and nothing antagonizing, just more like, I can build something slightly bigger than you can. Ha 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 ha. And both sides started publishing, their serious claim, like making legitimate claims to each other's governments that, this is fun and all, but seriously, this is ours. It got to a point where they were realizing it's not really worth the effort. Canada started issuing visas or whatever to anybody who wants to come and study the island. Greenland was issuing visas to anybody who wants to come and study the island. And they created this joint task force to help people come and study this useless island that doesn't need studying. It's just a rock. It's just sitting there. But it's everything there was symbolic. And finally, it came to resolution because of the Ukraine war.
Really?
Yes, in 2022, the Ukraine war is kicking off, and it's stupid, and everyone's fighting, and so Greenland and Canada wanted to show a demonstration that peace is possible, so they officially met in, I think in Switzerland, and they had a whole thing with press and diplomats, and they signed a peace treaty, and they both agreed that we will lay down our arms, as it were, and they in the halls of whatever place in Switzerland that they did this in, they still gave each other more booze. the Canadians handed the Danish people bottles of whiskey, and the Danish people handed the Canadian representatives their schnapps, and they signed a peace accord, and they said, look, Ukraine and Russia, it's possible. You can still have peace. And so that was the official end of the whiskey war.
How inspiring. Say, looking at a map, this stuff is way up there. That's now important, though. Like, it's all a big joke, except doesn't everyone have serious ambitions for every little piece of rock up there? This is like way up there above the Arctic Circle.
Lately, there's a lot of talk about who's needs to control the Arctic for whatever nefarious reason. I'm not going to try to do any political analysis, but yeah, for a place so cold, it's a hot issue.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Any flora or fauna? Because is this an island paradise? So it's a bit barren looking. It is an absolute
island paradise. Any type of animal or plant that you can imagine is there. In reality, there's nothing. Some seabirds land there occasionally, but that's about it. There happens to be a natural crack or ravine down the middle of this island that happens to go in a north-south direction. So the two sides agreed that's the official border between the two. And one side, I believe, is 60% of the size of the island. The other side's obviously 40%. And so I forget which side got the bigger side. Nobody really cares. They just said that's fine. That's the border. I don't believe anybody is leaving alcohol there anymore. Both navies still stop there just to get out and just have a nice walkabout, I guess. But and if you ever look into it and you try to dig up and you're imagining these warships that are pulling up to this island, please don't think it's a massive warship. These are small boats with 20 guys, and it's not easy to get onto the island because it's kind of high up above sea level, so they kind of have to climb their way up. It's really just an inconvenience. Their time would be better spent passing the island than trying to stop and get onto the
I have a question. I'm curious whether there's anyone who's like really badly stubbed their toe getting off one of these boats onto the island, and therefore they, like what are the list of like fatalities and casualties from this war, and can soldiers who have stubbed their toe severely enough claim like that they were in an active war zone, undisputed territory when they had this injury?
I wouldn't be surprised if like somebody got treated for a wartime sunburn trying to put up a flagpole on a nice sunny day.
And Covey, much like with nuclear war, the true casualties can only be known years and years later from sunburn, how many melanomas were caused and so forth. We can, historians will debate this for decades.
Yes. Time will tell how many casualties there are for the Whiskey War. Some red noses here and there.
The new border that was determined, I would have bet money that it must be one of the shortest land borders between two countries, because there is a new land border between Canada and Denmark there, and actually it's 1.28 kilometers across this island, so 0.8 miles, and that only ranks as fourth shortest official land border between countries. So number one is Botswana and Zambia, 155 meters in Kazungula. Saudi Arabia and Bahrain at Passport Island. Ooh, that's an island we have to do one day. 196 meters. And then UK Gibraltar, it's just a tiny bit shorter than this one, between Denmark and Canada.
There's a border going through Gibraltar?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the border between Spain and the UK, yeah.
I've known that. I didn't know that. I thought one of them had the island. I didn't know that a border went through the island.
Peninsula, yeah.
Speaking of passport islands, so I found this list of divided islands, right? Like divided islands in the sea between different countries and where there's conflict. And arranging them by size, I can see Passport Island there, right? So like in terms of area, it's only got, I think, 0.66 square kilometers of area, but that's not the smallest. And so I would argue that the smallest border is probably going to be on the smallest area divided island, which is, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but it's a market, but there's an umlau over the A. It's a market or something. And it's an island that is divided between Finland and Sweden. And it has a length of 350 meters by 150 meters. So I imagine that border would probably be...
There's an island in the Caribbean, St. Martin, which I've been to, which is half French, half Dutch. And there's a town you can walk through, and there's a line going through the center of the town. And on one side of the town, everything's French. The other side, everything's Dutch, but everything's English. But it was very, very fun. It's also very tropical. That's more of the island that Danny's imagining. That's not Hans Island.
Fair.
Well, I love Hans Island here. Like, some polar bear considers it's paradise. Paradise for me, because there's very few humans there. So, there's that.
And booze.
Yeah, and lots of booze, apparently, just left lying around for me to collect.
You or the bears. That's it. You have to fight them.
Passport Island, though, quickly, since we like islands, before we finish and jump on to discuss some proper science on your show, Passport Island is an artificial island between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and it just serves as the sole border crossing between the two. That's the point of its whole existence. It was built just to check people's passports.
Oh, hence the name. That makes sense.
Because there's a motorway, the King Fahd Causeway goes over from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain, and they need to stop somewhere to check everyone's allowed to cross. So there's a little artificial jazeera, as they say.
There's room to turn around in case they don't let you cross.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how wide the bridge is, yeah.
Welcome halfway across the water. You can't finish the rest of the route. Guess you're stuck?
Thank you, guys. We knocked off 2 islands and the Super Bowl in record time, under half an hour. Thank you so much for jumping on the anniversary show of the award-winning Talking Ass podcast, The Talking Ass. You can send your hate mails, talkingasspodcast@gmail.com, or go through the website, and links to the website and to these boys' show, The Nerd and the Scientist, where I will be appearing shortly as well. Go check that out from the description. And hey, no public service announcement, but one science fact, Benjamin, for our show as well. One quick fact.
Gosh, jeez, one science fact for the show. If you live on the moon and you look up at the Earth, it will never move in the sky. It's going to stay in the exact same position in the sky if you live on the moon, no matter what, because the moon is tidally locked facing the Earth. So the same side of the moon is always facing the Earth. So no matter where you are on the moon, if the Earth is in the sky, it will always be in that part of the sky permanently.
Beautiful.
God damn it. I'll have to listen to that 8 times and I still won't understand what you just said. But yeah, I hope
Copy, am I right? I'm right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's good. I like it a lot.